Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Today we're going to be doing a video on a few different things. Firstly, I'm going to show you my settings. A lot of people have been asking about my settings for quite some time, and I've promised to show them, so I'm going to talk you through them. Then I'm going to talk about one of the things I do to drop quicker than most people and get to the game first. And then I'm going to talk you tactically through a game I had that started at school and finished up with a whole lot of fun. So let's get right to it. Now, first I'm going to do the settings, and they're pretty generic. There's nothing extra special. A lot of people ask me about these because they think that if you're sniping really well or you're doing really well with with headshots and things like that, there must be some secret in the settings. It's not really that. It's just target acquisition and time on the range. HD graphics, high frame rates, colourful style. I've enabled anti-aliasing and enabled auto adjust graphics. Now I'm running an iPad Pro 10.5. It's the best possible Apple device you can play the game on if you're using an iPad or a big tablet. All my stock standard stuff in terms of controls is there. I'm a thumb player. I don't use the claw. I couldn't be bothered learning. I could probably improve by 3 percentage points if I use the claw, but go get screwed. That's too much effort for me. I'd rather just think my way around the battlefield and actually not try and give myself RSI. Onto the sensitivity stuff. I am a stock standard, do not touch it kind of guy. Everything on medium. The main reason for that is that it's really, really tough if they change the graphics and you have them on all these little... I went through and had everything engineered to be perfect at one point, and then there was a patch and all the settings reset and I couldn't get them back right together. So I've just decided to stick with medium on, and whatever the case may be with medium, and that's where we are. And that's it. That's my settings. Nothing extra special there. Now I want to talk to you about the way I drop into school in particular. That is, well, not just school, but anywhere, and with particular flight paths. And we'll get to that right now. Let's do that. It's a pretty important thing. The key number here for me is about 1,200 meters. At 1,200 meters, I'm going to go side on and dab. And I'm going to dab really, really hard and fast straight at the target. That'll get me up to 176 kilometers an hour, 178, 179, bang. We're even up to 180. And we're going down very, very fast. Dropping very, very fast. But from 1,200 meters out, we then, at about 600, we'll go 45 degrees to the target. And we'll go to 126 kilometers an hour, which is the speed you go when you long jump. And then at about right around the shoot drop area, which will be about 200, 220 meters, we'll go dead straight on and push straight on in. So if you do that from about 1,200 meters out, you'll get there first. And you'll watch when I land, I am absolutely the first guy here, even though there's lots and lots of people turn up. The only problem is when I land, I'm here for ages. On my own, I can't get a gun. There are no guns. That's the next shoot's just landed then. So we got a good 10 or 15 second buffer from the time we landed, and everyone else is starting to fall now. That drop was really ideal, but no gun anywhere, despite having a search all around there. So we're going to walk through the early stages of school, the engagements that we have at school, which are pretty cool, and then a really stupidly hilarious final circle. And I mean that in all... Like, it is absolutely ridiculous. Now, a lot of people love these tactical breakdowns. I love doing tactical breakdowns, and I think it's good to look at other people's gameplay styles. I know when I started YouTubing and I was doing Water Tanks Blitz, which is a really, really good mobile game, I started looking at videos and doing videos, and suddenly found my own gameplay improved a lot. So if you're thinking of improving your gameplay, watch everyone else. It'll help you. But then maybe take some videos of your own gameplay and be brutally honest and accountable, and you'll find you get a lot more out of it. If you just sugarcoat stuff and pretend like you're doing everything right, you'll end up not getting any better at all because, you can't. Now, we're going to do a little bit of pro leaning here. This is the best area at school, right? This area here is the best area at school. You get overlook on so many different sections of the map. You get look straight down this really, really long corridor for anyone that turns up, which is important because you want to be able to get... Here we go. Iron sights on the AK. There's another bloke there. We're going to shift out, lean out. Look into him. Now, he's actually going to duck into the room there on the left. I'm going to gren the doorway. Now, the gren, it's a really easy gren that you can use a lot this throw. You hit the doorway. It will bounce back to the other doorway and then bounce back to the original direction. So bounce, bounce, out. So I know that if he is not dead after this, he's on my left. So I can immediately go in and start hitting left because the gren landed in that section of the room. And we clear the target. And that's the first good thing we do today. So we've taken 2 down. We could have probably got some more if we had have had a gun on the top deck there. But alas and alack, we didn't. So we move onwards and upwards with life. Now, I did a video very recently. I don't know if you've watched it. If you haven't, you're certainly not in a minority. Most people don't watch my videos. I'm a very small YouTuber. But it was on changing the angle of attack. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I've hit this guy. So I'm going to push down. He is waiting for me to come around that corner. And he can see my footsteps. I can see his footsteps. What I'm going to do is run up and change the angle of attack. So while he is looking at that doorway, I'm going to reverse up the stairs and get him completely unawares. Now, that's really obvious, simple stuff when you look at it. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people do what I call... they make hit point trades, and hit point trades are not good things to make. Hit point trades, indeed, are the way you die, or you lose equipment, or you lose hit points, and it's just trying to brute force a problem that doesn't need to be brute forced. Now, before we leave school, I want to talk to you about this particular area here. One of the biggest complaints, well, not complaints, but one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they come to school. Not that I'm perfect or anything, but they try to patrol the whole of the perimeter. Now, in a squad mode, that may well be possible, even though then I think you're stretching it. But in a solo mode, it's just ludicrous to try and overlook this big an area. What you want to do is find a position like this, which has fantastic views of multiple entrances, and you'll see there's a guy that tries to come in through the southwest area here, and we just absolutely pulverize him. And also down long views straight down these corridors, long sight lines down these corridors, plus the basketball court and a little bit of the swimming pool area as well. It's a really ideal area. This is a great space. I highly recommend it. Just remember when you're here, control what you can see and leave the rest of it to everyone else. Sure, people will try and sneak up into those areas, but they're going to do that anyway, and you'll just spend the whole match running round and round and round in circles if you try and defend and own the whole area. Now, here's one of my old tricks. I like to switch seats, so I'm out and zoomed in and firing before the actual car stops. And while I'm happy days and do actually clear this bloke, we start tapping off with the M416. I start getting into a little bit of strife now when the bloke over here on my left starts nutting me. So we're going to just get clear of this. And this really does start quite an interesting passage of play. We're going to get clear of this bloke and then hide out. Now, another UAZ goes screaming by here at some point. I don't know if I catch this in this edit, but the guy that was shooting at me, I believe, then starts to try and zoom in on that UAZ and loses contact with me. And going around the hill when you're in a vehicle is a really good way of breaking the engagement, because people tend to think that you've left, when in fact you've just gone out of sight and sound. So they can no longer see the vehicle, and the little tire marks stop appearing on the map, and they think, well, I've cleared out, and they're now safe to go and do something else with their life. There's the car. So we know it's a little bit further around to the left than that. So we go starting on the top of the hill, and we just work our way down there. There is some gunfire coming out to the northwest, 345 back towards Pachinki, but that's not our man. And I should realise that now. I should just be focused in on the one target. But no, I make mistakes like everyone else, and I'm wandering around and looking all over the place. And we just get lucky that this bloke over there is now zoomed in on the UAZ that went past earlier, and we clear him off. Another Aussie bloke, felt bad doing that. Now here's where you can talk all about your tactics. You can talk all about using your brain and outthinking people, but I do actually make the right decisions here. But this is horrible. This is the worst place to be. The circle is not yet final. anyone that's up there will have overlook on me down here in these open fields. And because they're more than 150 metres away, the grass won't render. So it will be like I'm lying down on an open field and I'll just get drilled. But I know there's a UAZ that you saw, I talked about going past earlier, parked up at one of these little huts. So I can't go to that little hut without getting up into a really, really dodgy engagement. There are at least 7 other people spread around the edges of this circle, or indeed lying in the grass somewhere where I can't see. There's someone over near the bridge. And in the end, I decide that I'm going to go to the absolute dead centre of it and just sit in my little hut and let everyone else work their own stuff out. And that's what we do. And then the hilarity ensues. Now, there's a bloke here who for some reason starts pinging my car. This is idiotic. Not only is he pinging the car when I am dead centre of the circle, so I'm not driving anywhere, but he's giving himself away. And while he's zoomed in at that range with like a 4 times or an 8 times, he's tunneling my car and he's not going to notice me just popping out. And lo and behold, there he is, shooting my car. Like, what in the world were you thinking, dude? And then I close the door. Now, he's already injured the car. So what I'm going to do is if someone comes up, my plan is to just put an entire AK clip through this doorway, blow it up, the car that is, and kill them in the process. So that's what we do here. Only the dude is directly between the car and the door, which is really, really unfortunate for him and really lucky for me. And that's when I think, you know what, I'm just going to blow this car up in case someone tries to do the same thing to me. Well, the circle has finally said, get stuffed, Bushka. You're not in a good frame of mind. We're going to come and screw you over pretty hard. And I see the guy running in here from the flank. This is why I love first-person perspective. I hate third person. I never play it anymore. People just roll around in the grass. They just, do the whole lying down thing, snaking through the grass of Erangale, getting with the gren. Excellent. And first person, it encourages movement. You can't get sight lines when you're lying down in the grass. Now, there's a UAZ parked up here. One of the reasons I didn't go all the way through to this UAZ in the first place was that it was parked up here. And I'm pretty freaking certain that this guy has basically been in that hut for the past 10 minutes. And the circle has just decided to completely break in his favour. So he has got all the way down to the last 2 without really engaging anyone or doing anything. He drove past in the UAZ just after I got shot at on the hill there in my vehicle while I was leaning out the window like a clown. And he is now really the recipient of a podium finish from doing nothing more than parking his ass up in a hut, which is great because I parked my ass up in a hut. So kudos to us. The 2 blokes who went into the only 2 structures that were in the circle are coming first and second. So hat tip for us. Even when you got to, there's something I always say in Blitz, my other YouTube channel, Water Tanks Blitz. If you've got no good decisions to make, at least make the bad ones quickly. And that's what we did with the decision to go center of the circle. So we didn't have any good places to go. We didn't have any good decisions to make. So we just went there really, really fast. Now, this is an interesting one. I can't bring myself to chuck the 8 times scope, but gee, doesn't the AK look absolutely fantastic with that golden skin and iron sights on it? Big fan. I still can't believe that this bloke's in there. And he's not moved. His gun's not poking through the wall. He's not ghosting out through the door with lag or anything. He's just being really, really patient. I still have a hard time believing he's there. Now, I already used my gren to kill that last bloke. I threw a gren and got him with the gren. So I don't have any grens left. I wish I had held on to that one because I ended up not needing it so much. Although, I wish rocking horses pooped gold and then we'd all be happy days. So what I'm going to do is exactly what I was going to do when I blew up the car before. These doors are made of very, very thin wood and you can shoot through them, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to line it up. I just believe he's in there, right? I just believe he's in there. He's tucked right in that corner. Look. Unbelievable. reload, and just come around the corner screaming, blue murder. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I thought that was a good way to go through my sensitivity settings, talk a little bit about the important tactical high points of school, and show you some really interesting gameplay in a final circle situation. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, stick around for the live streams. It all helps me, and spread the word. If you like the videos, I'd love to get some more subs and some more views on channel. All helps. Until next time, guys, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.